Now, on the third day, when we had started the hackathon, that morning of Saturday, we received very sad news that one of our past participants, Vivian Awori, had passed on. So on behalf of HiPipo, I would like to pay tribute to Vivian. Vivian has been attending, she attended all the 3 hackathons. So Vivian is the one next to Innocent, without specs. That is Vivian. She attended the past 3 hackathons with her product, Lima Pesa, and at the time of her demise, she had co-founded 2 companies, that is Aspen and Upper Assistant, personal assist, it helps students with research, and Aspen is a group of software engineers. Vivian passed on at the age of 24. She had a car accident. So may her soul rest in peace. Let's just take a few seconds and remember her. Eternal rest grant her, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon her. May she rest in peace. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And now to get on to the order of the day, the business of the day, Women in FinTech Summit now takes shape with our first panel discussion. And our first panel discussion is going to be looking at the social challenges and their impact on the very women in this room as regards to FinTech. And I know that in one way or another, you can each one attest to this particular one, but we do have a panel that has been put together to help us bring understanding to the social challenges, but also to the social opportunities at the end of this discussion. So allow me to invite to the podium our panelists for our first panel discussion. We do have Halima Bukirwa. Halima Bukirwa is the software engineer as well as the chief executive officer at Alfajiri Innovations Limited. She's going to be joined by Miss Patricia Atim. Miss Patricia Atim is also a high innovator. She is the lead at she's a lead software engineer at Kanzu Code Ladies. Kanzu Code has come a long way, so to see that they're still standing and shaping FinTech, it's very, very commendable. They'll be joined by third panelist, who is Victoria Nachitio. Victoria Nachito is the visionary entrepreneur and founder of Sail Curry. You can never have enough of the Bukirwas, so we do have another Bukirwa joining us, and that is Miss Angela Bukirwa. You're most welcome equally. She's the project manager and co-founder at Mpampi. Karibuni. And then our final panelist for our first panel discussion is going to be F. France Eunice Namugenyi. F. France is the managing director as well as founder, Kuzimba Services. Now, to help shape this conversation, allow me to invite Miss Annabelle Okot-Ogwang, who's going to be giving us a talk in regards to the historical perspective of women education and adaptation to technology. She is the CEO of Centenary Foundation. And so let's have a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Annabelle Okot.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? It's so great to be in a room full of young, budding women and men with lots of ideas, lots of thoughts, lots of inspiration. I really feel honored to be here today, and I'm really happy to have received the invitation through our subsidiary, sister subsidiary, FinTech. I think many of you have interfaced with people from FinTech. FinTech and Centenary Foundation are a member of the Centenary Group. I don't know how many of you have heard about the Centenary Group. The Centenary Group is the anchor institution that has a number of subsidiaries, including Centenary Bank. Many of you have probably heard about or even bank with the Centenary Bank. So we're really happy to not only support this occasion, but also be part of the discussions. I think one of the days we had someone from Centenary Bank talking to you about financial management. Does anyone remember that? Yes, yes. And later we'll also have my colleague Rowena here talking tech things. So for me, I am really going to focus on the societal issues that affect young women in the technology space. And we know that historically, because of all the patriarchy, because of the way our societies are formed, our societies are very well male-dominated, aren't they? So we come from a space where young women were not even given the opportunity to attend school beyond primary 4 or primary 5. So once you started, developing breasts, then you were almost ready for marriage. And then the parents had to prioritize whether they should pay fees for you to go to school or whether they should pay for their son, who probably would, continue the family line. You were going to get married off, so why continue to waste resources on you? So this is where we're coming from, where we even had, the possibilities of not going to school. And now we are even talking about young women within the technology or the FinTech space. I was talking earlier to two young women, Halima and Angela, and it was very clear that these society challenges begin from home. And so for me to see you here is really a breakthrough. So congratulations to all the young women who are here. And congratulations to all the young men who are here as well. I spoke with John Kennedy earlier, and he really has his head properly sitting on his shoulders in terms of supporting young women in these spaces. So this is where we're coming from, very male-dominated. Clearly, for you young women in the tech space, you're outnumbered, or you have been outnumbered before initiatives like HiPipo came about. Now we can begin to say, wow, we're going to have more and more young women within this FinTech space. So thank you very much, HiPipo, for really bringing up more young women into these spaces. We also know that because of the space and the way it's structured, young women actually have to explain themselves a lot more. They have to speak a little louder to be heard. They have to, explain themselves double or triple times before they can be seen as people who are competent to be in these spaces. We know that, like I said earlier, we don't really have a lot of support. If you told your parent you were going to study engineering or computer science, you would need, I think, all the 3 years or 4 years you'd be at the university, you'd have to keep explaining, so what are you really going to do? So what do you really do? We don't really have that support or encouragement for most of you. There are all the stereotypes about, okay, so how are you going to crawl under the tables to fix, computers, or to, be able to do your technology stuff? So there are all the stereotypes that continue to exist. There are quite a lot of put downs I had again, from my young colleagues that, people are saying, but mechanical work, computer or whatever, what are you going to do? How are you going to succeed in this space? Can you even come up with a product that is sellable? And it's even worse when you walk into a banking hall. My colleagues from the banking sector will excuse me. From the time you walk in, you're young. First of all, you're young. That already is a minus. Then you're female. That is a double minus. So it's very difficult for you to convince this banking officer that you need to open a company account. Do you have the resources? Do you know what it takes? Are you sure you can really do this? So these are all the challenges that come into play. For those of you who are maybe working in companies, there are all the issues with both our male and female colleagues. Some of our female colleagues actually are part of the patriarchy mindset, in that they do not really see that you're competent enough to be in that space, and this is really a result of where we're coming from. For some of the men, and I've had there's all this sympathy, you're women, you can't be in these spaces, you have to be, in the more feminine spaces and get ready for your reproductive role. These are some of the challenges that you face or will face. Then there is this unconscious bias. You walk into a room and just by the look, someone sizes you up and they are already biased about your abilities. These are things I'm sure you all face, and my friends Halima and can really attest to this. So these issues are so deep. Time to do the side things, like to step up your career in the fintech space besides what you're already doing. Time when you reach that point where perhaps you will get married. How do you balance that time between being a mother and continuing to remain in that space? You need to breastfeed. Our spaces, are they comfortable enough for you as parents? Are you able to negotiate flexi work routines? Do you have supportive bosses that will understand that you need 30 minutes to go and breastfeed your child? If you have a sick child, can you take 2 days off? Maybe work from home? If you have old school colleagues or bosses, they expect to see you sitting at your desk from 8 to 5. So these are some of the challenges. And I can tell you that recently I was giving feedback to a young person who I was working with, and I was saying, but you're always on your phone. We were discussing all these important things and you were on your phone. And he was quick to remind me that he was actually reviewing a report and giving feedback to his other colleagues. So some of us will take a little more time to understand that your generation tasks differently. You work differently, you work more with technology, and the fintech space will not be any different. The cost of attaining your qualifications. I don't know how much it costs you, but I did a little bit of research and I understood that the cost of the industry qualifications could take up to $1,000, with maybe $200 every year for you to remain, a member on some of those different technology bodies. And where should this money come from? You're young, you're just starting out, some of you are students, you don't even earn any income yet. Where can you get such support? Where can you get such funding? How can you begin to pitch your apps or your products so that you are already getting some income? Are you trusted that businesses will actually partner with you? You have good products, but do they have the faith to partner with you and pay you market rates and not try to sort of undercut, exploit you, run away with your technology? I think these are all the issues that exist in the space. I earlier talked about parental duties, but I also have got to understand that technology is changing so fast. Imagine you've taken time off as a mother, and then you come back 18 months later. technology might have already changed so fast. How do you get the space, the opportunity, the resources to be up to date? I talked to someone who said that when she went on maternity leave and came back, it's 5 years now, and she still has not yet caught up with technology. So barriers, barriers, barriers. And of course, finally, I'll talk about the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling is that ceiling that you don't really see, but exists. You know, you have the same product with your male colleagues, but because of that glass ceiling, you're not good enough to break through. This is across the board, and many